Listen, if you constantly struggle with motivation, it's because you lack commitment. If you constantly need motivation, it's because you lack commitment. So look, this conversation may inspire some, bother others. Y'all can flame me in the comments and let me know how you feel about it. But nonetheless, it is real and it is pertinent, and that's why we're having it today. Because I see way too many business owners and people in general, right? Business people in business, people in corporate, they're constantly struggling with this idea of motivation. And I'm always taken aback when I talk to somebody. What's up, Jack? What's up, Ryan? I'm always taken aback when I talk to people and they're like, "Yeah, I had to put my motivation on, in the morning so I could get going." I'm like, "Put your motivation on in the morning, get going." I don't get that. I don't get that not because I'm always motivated. I don't get that because how could one be so reliant on such a thing like motivation? Motivation is essentially like caffeine. At some point, it wears out, it runs off, right? Or I said it wears out. Yeah, it wears out. It wears off. It wears off. It runs out. It wears off, right? It runs out. It wears off. And so I want to help, hopefully help, right? And by the way, I hope that this is um, a mutual conversation, right? I love to get your comments in the chat, all the rest of it about what your thoughts are on this topic of motivation versus commitment, because I believe that's really what it is. I believe that is motivation versus commitment. Why? Because I'm gonna tell you, I go to the gym 6, maybe 7 days a week sometimes, right? I'm probably motivated to go in there 2 of those 6. Oftentimes, I'm sitting in the car, I'm having a conversation with myself, I'm scrolling social media. Why? Because I'm thinking about the fact that my right shoulder is already kind of sore, right? I'm thinking about the fact that last time I went and jogged, the inside of my knee was hurting. I'm thinking about all these things. So I'm not motivated to go in there, but I am committed to living the healthiest life that I possibly can. And if working out is a foundational principle in that next to my diet, then I got to go get it in. And so, how many people are out here letting life pass by? How many people out here not maximizing and capitalizing on things in their business or at work or otherwise because they're constantly waiting for something or somebody to motivate them, right? I think about just yesterday, right? So we hosting this 5-day challenge this week, my partner David and I, for business owners, coaches, consultants, and experts, and showing them how to grow their brands online, how to go and help more people monetize their message, and by the way, and how to make a lot of money, right? So we're showing them how we've been able to make 6 figures in a day on a frequent basis, right? How many of them can go from making 6 figures in a year to 6 figures in a month. So it's a really cool gig. But like it's a lot of thought that goes into it. It's a lot of preparation that goes into it. It's a lot of work that goes into it. Work, I put in air quotes. And so at the end of the day, I'm tired, right? Not because it's physically taxing, but because it is mentally taxing. We do a 1 hour VIP where everybody could come in and ask their questions. And so they get live coaching from my partner and I. And then we do a 1 hour segment where we're teaching them on a specific topic and training them on something in that day. Well, yesterday was a day. I'm talking about they worked us over. Okay. They worked us harder than hookers on Saturday nights. Okay. And so I was like, I was done, and my wife had just got home from yoga, and I'm looking at them dishes, and they looking back at me, and I'm looking at her, and I said, "Just go do the dishes, right?" Now I didn't do them dishes out of motivation. That I can promise you. I did it out of commitment to serve my wife, though. Are y'all seeing where I'm going with this motivation versus commitment thing? Let me know in the chat if y'all picking up what I'm putting down so far. Because I know some of y'all got like these playlists and you heavily relying on motivation every day. And I'm telling you, that's cool. But we got to get down to the real root of why is it that you need that stimulus of motivation. It's because there's a lack of commitment. Deep down inside, whatever it is that you're trying to get motivated to do, there's a lack of commitment of what you're doing. Today, even. By the way, if this live is helping you, like it, do whatever. Y'all know how to do their algorithm stuff. Like, get this message out there. Help me get this message out there because obviously I show up for y'all. And to that point, I didn't feel like doing this today. Why? Because everything I just told you I'm doing this week with this 5-day challenge that we're doing. Right? I wasn't motivated to do this, but I'm committed to doing it. Why? Because I told y'all that I was going to be here every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern for y'all this entire year. That y'all got access to me, that y'all can ask me whatever questions, and I would do my absolute best to come with a topic either prompted by y'all or by God that I feel is requisite to share to continue to help to move the needle in your life. So regardless of whether I was motivated to do this today or not, I was committed to. So here I am. Right? I'm committed to serve. I'm committed to help people. I'm committed to put you guys in a better position to go out and accomplish the things that you want in life. And I'm also committed. See, it's hard to play the game and coach at the same time. Right? That's why Kobe needed a coach. That's why Michael needed a coach. That's why the greats need coaches. Why? Because they can't see the game and play it at the same time. Their perspective is limited. So I come in, right, to offer a perspective that sometimes we don't see because we're too busy playing the game. And so that's my position, right? And I'm committed to that position to you guys every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I see this chronically as I coach coaches, consultants, and experts, right? I see this chronically with them because many of them struggle to stay consistent with creating content. Why? Because they're not motivated. I promise you they're not motivated to create that content because they already fearful of doing it, right? So you ain't going to be fearful and motivated. Them two don't go together. So what happens is because they're fearful of a thing, they got anxiety toward it, they're not motivated by it, then they don't do it. Why? Because they don't have the commitment to do it. Commitment overrides motivation. Commitment overrides motivation. So whatever it is that you find yourself in a constant need of motivation for, you have to re-examine what's your level of commitment to. Whatever you find yourself in a constant need of motivation for, you need to reevaluate why there's a lack of commitment to. Because that's where your real issue is. And until you reestablish the why behind your commitment to the things that you need to do, then you're always going to struggle with motivation, which means that everything else will suffer as a result of your lack of motivation. Ryan said, I like that. Commitment equals motivation. Commitment is greater than motivation. Yes, sir. Commitment is greater than motivation. Commitment is greater than motivation. Commitment is greater than motivation. Think about it. Just think about all the most important things in your life, right? Like, let's just say you have a problem with a friend, a family member, somebody close to you. Let's get even more intimate. Let's say you got a problem with your spouse. You ain't motivated to go apologize. Very seldom are you motivated to go apologize. We just gonna keep it a buck since we're here together as family. But your commitment to them, your commitment to God will cause you to go and cause you to go and apologize. But you ain't motivated to apologize though. But your commitment to your spouse, your love for them, and your commitment to honor God will cause you to then go and apologize even when you're not motivated to. And I'm giving y'all all of these different various examples, whether it be in the marketplace, whether it be in your personal life. Why? Because for too long now, and social media has done a poor job at egging this on, right? Social media with all of these, on YouTube, for instance, you can go find all these motivational channels, right? And it's great. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with motivation, but I am saying there's something wrong if you're relying on it, though. Because it's not going to always be there. It's similar, and this somebody really going to get me for saying this. It's just like affirmations don't work. Telling yourself something over and over again that you don't believe in your heart is not going to work. And more importantly, if it ain't the word of God, then it ain't principally based. So it really ain't going to work. And it's so interesting that if people actually pull back the curtain and examine these things at a deeper level in their lives, they'll find out that much of what they do are placebos. You know, like you go to a psychiatrist or something, and maybe you got some type of psychotic situation going on, right? Not that I know by firsthand experience on this, right? This is what I've seen and read. And they will give you medication to supposedly help this situation, right? But then they'll get to a point where they think that you may be doing better than what you think, and they'll give you a placebo. They give you a 52 fake out. What's up, Mark? They give you a 52 fake out to make you think you're taking the thing, but you're not taking that thing anymore, to see how you react to it. And that's how they can find out if you really need the medication or not anymore, right? And people, they'll be like, oh, I gotta have it, doc. It's like, you've been taking the placebo for, like, I gave you a sugar pill for the last 4 months. You know that, right? Get out of here. No way. I can't live without the blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, you have been. I promise you, for many of y'all, if you were to really pull the veil back, you will realize that motivation and affirmations have been placebos in your life. They give you the false sense of they're helping. But long term, that ain't going to work. It's no different than every day I get up, I take my vitamin, I drink a Celsius on my way to the gym. Now, that Celsius is supposedly giving me motivation and pre-workout, right? I promise you right now, I could drink that Celsius and drive that car around till the gas go out before I get motivated on going in that gym. It's not doing it. Now, because I have a routine and a rhythm of doing that to put myself in the best state for that potentially to work, I do it every day. But that Celsius is making me no less motivated to go in that gym as if I didn't take it. But mentally, I've accepted that it does, and so I do it anyway. Jack said, my commitment to stop losing $1,500 a month on the unit not being rented out got me up to get all the tenant stuff out this unit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, Jack. That's what I'm talking about. My commitment to stop losing $1,500 a month on a unit not being rented out got me up to get all the tenant stuff out of the unit. Yes. 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 There has to come a point where principle takes over emotion. And a commitment is a principle because it's a decision. Right? When we decide, that means that we cut off all other options. Because until then, guess where we leave ourselves? Options. And motivation leaves you an option. What's the option? Am I motivated today? That's the option. That's the dangerous option that motivation leaves you is, am I motivated today? And then the dangerous answer to that option is if you don't feel motivated, then you believe that's a good enough justification not to do whatever you're supposed to do for that day. Am I talking to anybody? We do it all day long. And I'm just telling you that if you want to change life, if you want your circumstances to be different, if you want to live the life of a 1%er, you got to focus more on commitments and not motivation. I would say 90% of my day, I'm doing out of commitments. 90% I'm doing out of commitments. 10% of the time am I motivated. To keep it a buck, sometimes I'm not motivated to go on vacation. But I done committed to my wife, like, yeah, we going, so we going. I know that sounds crazy, right? But I'm showing you the dichotomy of motivation. It's not even just when it's to do something that's challenging. Sometimes it's even to do something pleasurable. I just don't feel like doing it. So am I saying that you got to discard your Eric Thomas in the morning? No. Am I saying you got to get rid of your daily affirmations? No. But what I am telling you is underneath all that, just know them placebos. That's caffeine that's going to wear off. You got to realign your why behind why you're doing what you're doing. For many of y'all, you go to jobs that you hate. You don't do that because you're motivated. You do that because you committed to getting a paycheck. Not even that you committed to them. You committed to you enough that you getting that paycheck that you go in there despite how you feel about it. So it really shows us how unimportant motivation is. And more than 80% of the people fall in that category that I just talked about, going into a job that they hate, that they're not motivated to go into, that they're only going because the commitment to the paycheck. But then those are the majority of the same people that act like they got to have a motivation tracks in and they got to. No, there's proven record that you can do things in spite of being motivated to do them. So that means that every other decision that you make not to improve your life is a conscious decision that you just made not to improve your life. It got nothing to do with you being motivated. It just got everything to do with you're not willing to do the things that's requisite through the form of a commitment to change your life. Jack said caffeine never wears off if you never stop. Listen to me, bro. And that's funny you say that, right? It's almost like getting drunk and then like you don't know you're drunk no more because you've been drinking for so long. Like I get it. But seriously though, like I know, it's like the cigarette smoker that the first cigarette of the day they catch that buzz, right? Then they smoke 17 other cigarettes the whole rest of the day, and none of them make them feel like they did initially. Why? Because it's a nicotine buzz, right? You get the caffeine joke, and it wears off. And motivation to get you hype, but no different than your man Mike Tyson say, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. That's what happened. You get your cup of Joe in the morning, you feeling good and inspired and motivated, and you get out there and you get that one phone call or that one person cut you off in traffic, or you get to work and your boss get on your last nerve, and then you're not so motivated, just that fast. So we gotta focus on commitments, y'all. So I know I've been talking. What questions y'all got for me? What questions do y'all have for me? Because this is a heavy topic. And I want to do my very best to bring some clarity to it, because I can tell you that your boy running around 90% of the time on commitments, not motivation. Not motivation. So a couple things that you could do to combat. Well, first of all, let's just start with this. Okay. Somebody got a question. Your business is receiving a lot of inquiries, but not enough conversions. What's your strategy? Your business is receiving a lot of inquiries, but not enough conversions. What's your strategy? So the first thing I would say to that is this. If you're getting a lot of people that's interested in your business, but they're not converting, more than likely that means that there's something wrong in your process. From the time that they say yes to whether they take your download, whether they click the link on your website, whether they download your ebook, whatever that is, after they do that, there's something that's broken in the rest of the process to get them to do the next step of whatever that is, right? So my guess is, if you're asking about conversions, you're asking it in the sense of either selling them something, getting them to sign up for something, getting them to take part in something. So there's a break in communication from the time that they said yes to whatever that was to the point of actually doing the next thing that you need them to do, right? So without me knowing all the intricate details of that, I would tell you to go and look at the point of inception where they came in, but then what was broken as a result of that thereafter. Like, where did they fall off in your process? And hopefully you have like some type of, CMS, a customer management system that can show you where the client has gone throughout the entire process. One of the things that we do is we tag our leads And then that way we can watch their movement all the way through our process. So, was that helpful? So, one of the things that I was getting ready to say about um, commitments, right? And I was just talking to one of my coaching clients about this. We could find ourselves just going around doing a bunch of stuff. Maybe we gifted at it, maybe we skilled at it, maybe we're in high demand because of both or one of those reasons. And we could find ourselves just doing a lot of things that feel like they're productive, but they're only productive if we understand what our ultimate goal is. So when I say that, I mean this. So let's just say you get asked to come and speak at an event, right? And then, okay, I'm just going to use her as an example. Okay. It'd be easier because I literally just had this conversation with her. So recently, she's been asked to speak at an event. She's been asked to do a partnership with a large corporation. She's been asked to do something at a radio station with a family member. She's been asked to do these various different levels of podcasts. She's been asked to do a lot of different things in a lot of different settings, right? But the bottom line is, until you get very clear on what you're offering and who you're offering it to, then those things that seem like they're productive can really just be active distractions. And so part of the way to strengthen your commitments is getting very clear about what your goals are in your life and every aspect of your life. As I talked about, I don't like going to the gym, right? On most days, I'm not motivated to go to the gym, but I like looking good though. And internally, I want to have the best physical health that I possibly can at this point in my life. Ain't no point in pursuing all this money and then don't get there and can't enjoy it, right? So I want to be in the best shape for as long as I possibly can. So that commitment to what I have as an idea for my personal health and fitness overrides whether I'm motivated and going to the gym that day. Last night when I was done doing the thing with the challenge, while I didn't feel like washing the dishes, I also knew my wife had a long day, and my commitment to letting her know that I was serving her overrode my lack of motivation for washing the dishes. Not that I'm ever really motivated to wash the dishes, you know what I'm saying? But y'all get my point. So I got a commitment based off of the idea of the type of marriage that I want to have. And so I have an understanding of what my inputs need to be in that area in order to get the output that I desire in that area. In my business, right? There's certain thing I know I got to put out content every single day. Why? Because people watch your content like a Netflix show at this point. And if you go there and find that your best show, your favorite show ain't there, what you do? You go watch another show, and then you go binge watch that. So same is true with your content. So what do? I put it out every day. Why? So that the people that like watching my show got something to watch. That's a commitment. That's a commitment. So it don't matter whether I'm motivated to do it or not. It's the fact that I signed up for that commitment. So that's one way of figuring out and reestablishing your commitments in your life. Is your commitments will be directly associated with your outlooks and your goals. The reason I stopped, you said, oh, okay, so I should look at each piece individually within the process. Yes. So a competitor is copying my branding and is starting to bother me. They have a bigger following too. What are your thoughts about that? So a competitor is copying your branding and is starting to bother you. They have a bigger following as well. Well, first of all, congratulations, right? They say that imitation is one of the biggest signs of flattery, right? I know it's painful to see it that way as a business owner, especially when you put your blood, sweat, and tears, your thoughts, your intellect into whatever it is that you're building. So it's hard sometimes to see somebody try to go out and copy that or steal that or replicate that. But the reality is you got one or two ways to look at it, right? One, they got a bigger brand than you and they copying what you're doing, then that should let you know that you clearly probably doing something that's good, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, if you feel as if the thing that it is, right? Maybe it's a saying or a logo or an offer, right? Maybe it's like they copying the name of a webinar. They copying, then you could get that trademark. If you feel like that thing is going to be that fruitful in your life, then it's worth paying a trademark attorney and getting a trademark, right? That way, then you own the rights to the usage of it in that application. So that's one thing that we do internally, right? If we feel like we got a winner, we just go get a trademark. We just go get a trademark. I got stuff trademarked 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't even like deployed yet because it hasn't been the season to do it. But I know based on the promptings that I felt like I got from God around that thing, I went and got a trademark so we could protect it while it sits on the shelf until we're ready to do something with it. So that's what I would recommend, right? That's what I would recommend. Jack said you have to put out more content because that's what it takes to be awesome in today's world. If you don't have any side hustles on top of side hustles, then you're falling behind and becoming a hater, not a player. Exactly. That's funny, Jack. Yeah, 100%. You want to be a player, not a hater. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a player, not a hater. So yeah, you got to be putting out content. And the truth, here's the best part about content, right? And I think those who look at it from this perspective win. The content may be about me, but it's for you. The content may be about me, but it's for you. So I always take that approach, even today. Like I'm using my own examples, but to only paint a picture for you to see yourself in your own examples. Right? As I mentioned to you when I got on here, I was like, I'm still prepping for my event tonight. You see, I got the whiteboard behind me and all that. I wasn't motivated to get on here today, but I made a commitment to y'all. And so I showed up, and I just didn't show up. Like I put thought behind showing up. I ain't just turn on the button and be like, well, it's 2:30, it's 2:00 today. You know, I said I was going to be here. So anybody? No, I still put thought into what I wanted to talk to you guys about today because I'm showing up for y'all. And I just believe in Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added. I never have to worry about things in my life. I never have to worry about chasing things. I never have to worry about seeking things, because as long as I get up every day and seek the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added. We're seeking the kingdom of God, seeking to serve your assignment with the gifts that he's giving you. That's what it is. Seeking to serve your assignment with the gifts that he's giving you. So even going back to the other person's example about somebody copying you, one, when you operating fully in your authenticity, and two, you utilizing your gifts and your talents to serve the people around you, it ain't no competition. Why? Because God has already divinely orchestrated and ordained certain people to be in your life for certain reasons. Certain people are supposed to be in your life in terms of clients. Some people are supposed to be in your life in terms of customers. Certain people are supposed to be in your life because you're supposed to be able to serve them, right? There's going to be certain people that you need to minister to. There's going to be certain people that you need to aid and assist and take care of. Like he's already orchestrated all of this. So if you walking in your divine purpose and your divine calling, then there is no competition. Nobody can take nothing from you, including the enemy. But the problem is we get so fixated looking at everybody else stuff, not understanding compare. This is why comparison is the thief of joy. You're looking at everybody else stuff instead of having the blinders on like the horses in the race and just running your race with the blinders on, only looking this way. Does that make sense? That could change a lot in your life just by taking that approach, by understanding, focus on your assignment. Who is my assignment? Whoever I come in contact with today. I just did a podcast with my man Millennial Mike, and he said something profound. And he said, sometimes you may be the only Bible a person ever read. That's deep. You may be the only Bible a person ever reads. So if you get up every day and serve your assignment, that means that the people in the parking lot, the cashier at the grocery store, what do they think about you when they come in contact with you? Was that person loving? Was that person kind? Was that person caring? Was that person generous? Like what do they say when they come in? Like what do they feel as a result of coming in contact with you? That's what it looks like to serve your assignment every day. What contribution are you making to other people's lives to give them life and life more abundant? Because if you're a follower of Christ, that's what your job should be, is to give them life and life more abundant. They should be able to see his light through you. And if not, why not? Oh, maybe we not motivated. Maybe we weren't motivated to be kind today, although scripture tells us to. Maybe we weren't motivated to be patient today, although scripture tells us to. Maybe we weren't motivated to have love and forbearance today because we weren't motivated. Well, fool around and not do what he tells you to do because you ain't motivated. See how that worked out. Ask Moses how that worked out when he told him to go over there and speak to the rock. But because before he had him smite the rock with his staff, Moses took it upon himself that he was going to go over there, smack the rock with his staff. Oh, and the water still came out. The Israelites got their hydration. But you know what Moses got? Hijacked. They got their hydration and he got hijacked. What did he get hijacked of? His destiny. He done went and drug these knuckleheads around for 40 years, endured all the backlash of dealing with them, all the rest of it. God knows just as much as him as they out of pocket. But because he got out of pocket, because of his lack of motivation to do it the way that God told him to do it, cost him going to the promised land with them. So he did all that work. He did all the heavy lifting to then say, hey, Joshua, unfortunately, due to my disobedience, the buck stops here, bro. Here, you're going to have to take them the rest of the way. And here's my 40 years of notes. Here's my 40 years of notes on everything that we've done all the way up to this point. Could you imagine? Like, this is, see, we look at stories in the Bible as if there's stories about the characters in the Bible, but we never stop to see ourselves as the characters in the stories. It's the same thing. God has given us responsibility over certain things and assigned us to certain people, our families. If you're a coach, right? The people you serve, the people you lead. If you're a manager at work, the people that work for you, right? He's giving you assignments to lead people, to take charge of things. And sometimes he tells us how he wants us to do a thing. And because of our lack of motivation to do it his way, we do it our way. And just like Moses, we miss out on our promised lands. And somebody else running around with your blessing that you put all the work and effort in for, and right at the end, when everything was about to happen for you, because you lacked the motivation to stay consistent, because you lack commitment, you missed out on the very thing that would have changed everything. That's the story of most people's life. That's the danger of what happens when you lack motivation. That's the danger of when you don't have strong enough commitments. Is you do all this work season after season after season, and because you get to a point where you feel as if you ain't motivated to keep doing it, that'd be the very moment when you abort everything that you work for. So this is why, my friends, we got to focus more on commitment than motivation. Commitment than motivation. The reason I stopped you, thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. So on that note, as always, man, I appreciate y'all showing up. If you're watching this on the replay, please reshare with somebody, right? The only thing I ask when I show up every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, is that if this is helping you, to share with others and like and subscribe. The only thing I want to do is help as many people as I possibly can. That's the only thing I want from this, right? And so if you guys can help me in doing that and getting this out by helping push this out in the algorithm, I'm forever grateful, and I will keep showing up. And that's my commitment to you. And you guys, please just let us know in the comments other topics that you want to see me cover. And just what your thoughts are overall. Like, I know a lot of people are driven by motivation. I love to know and hear your heart on that as well. And someone said, I'll save my question until next week. Okay, cool. Yeah, or put it in the comments. Maybe we make that the topic for next week as well. Okay. All right. God bless y'all. Have a great weekend, and I will see y'all in the next one.